Good morning, everybody. This is Rodney, and I am getting ready to talk with John from Pinnacle Hemp. Let me see if I can add him into our conversation here. And comments, banners, guests. There we go. Hey, John. Let's see. Add to stream, and there you are. Magically, mystically, through the power of technology.
Right.
How you doing today, John?
Oh, can't complain. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. So, you're with a company called Pinnacle Hemp,
Yeah, yeah.
and you both you not you personally, but your company manufactures and distributes a lot of different CBD products, right?
Yeah, yeah. Over 100 SKUs. I mean, tinctures, edibles, vapables, you name it.
Cool. Cool. There's one thing that you know that I want to talk about today, and it's been a topic here in our group. Um, Roberto Figs and several others. There was a whole thread on COAs, and COAs in some companies are, according to Robert and some other people in this group, they have seen COAs off as much by 10%.
Yeah, and I have definitely, I mean, there's a lot of companies out there where transparency doesn't mean a lot to them per se. So, I mean,
Right.
I've seen inaccurate COAs. It's something we've always strived for is transparency.
Sure. Now, there was something that just, kind of it's one of those ideas that just came and grabbed me by the balls and wouldn't let go. Um, the only thing that I can see as a mistake that some companies might make here is if they create a batch and it's almost all the way gone. I mean, you're talking less than a few cases left of
Hmm.
any one product. It doesn't really matter what it is. But if it happens that so that the company doesn't run out of a product, that they start a new batch or they release a new batch, so that in essence they may only have one COA on their website, but
Hmm.
it's representing two different products.
See, and
Um,
I'd asked about that with us, and if you go to our labs website, labs.pinnaclehemp.com, right now it does just show the most recent COA. But if your batch number isn't present on there, you can always email us with your batch number, and we do have COAs for each batch.
so everybody, when you're looking at the COAs, when you're accepting a shipment, you should look at the COAs and you should verify that the batch number that you have is the batch number for the COA on the manufacturer's website.
Yeah,
Okay, I think that is probably the single best tip that we can give the group here that I've seen come across in the last little while.
yeah, and I mean, even back with before D8 anything, we always preached, transparency. So I mean, I know there's still companies out there not testing products and still putting them in stores, and even on the consumer level, consumers should be looking at COAs, making sure they're getting a quality product, things like that.
Right, right, absolutely, and the store owner has to get involved. This is CBD retail is not by any stretch of the imagination a hands-off business, in
No.
my opinion. Um, tell now I know I jumped straight in, but let me give you just a minute to back up because
Yeah.
that was just one of those things. Like I said, it grabbed me by the balls and wouldn't let go.
Right.
But why don't you tell us a little bit about your company? You know, how long they've been around, some of the things that you guys feel like you are outstanding at, and reasons why they should consider Pinnacle adding a line of Pinnacle hemp to their product line.
Absolutely. Well, one thing that sets us apart from a lot of other brands, like we manufacture so many different products. So, if you own a shop, It's probably a little difficult to go through one company for full spectrum, line, another company for broad spectrum, another company for isolate. We have all that. We manufacture it all in house. That's a big thing, a big plus to working with us. No MOQs is a big thing as well. We've been around, I want to say, coming up on 5 years now. We started with just full spectrum back when
Mhm.
everybody was doing isolate, and you're seeing everybody doing these high milligram levels of just isolate. But the endocannabinoid system really benefits from full spectrum, and that's something we've preached since we've been around.
Now, can you sell full spectrum in all 50 states?
I don't want to say all 50 states. I don't remember what states have had issues. Some states don't allow any THC. So even below like the zero point 0.3 federal limit,
Right,
some states need it to be absolute zero. So that's why we have our broad spectrum line, isolate line to appeal to,
right.
shops in those states.
And do you guys white label as well as putting it out under your product line?
It's something we've just recently started doing. It's not our primary focus. When it comes to stuff like that, it's best to talk to, a representative and see what we can do for you.
Okay, great. So if somebody is considering white label, they should definitely hit you up on uh, Facebook Messenger or
Yeah, yeah, you
uh,
can feel free to shoot me a message. I usually post my cell very frequently on my Facebook posts as well. So if you want to give me a call,
okay, cool. I haven't seen a lot of creatives, a lot of ads coming out of your company, even though we do allow, and I want to say this to everybody, we allow advertising on Tuesdays and Thursdays only. That's
right,
Eastern time. It's not precise. It's when I wake up to when I go to bed. And
right,
I hate to tell you that, but that's as close as I can come to an exact description of when you can post business ads.
yeah, and that's
And
that's one thing is I need to work on marketing on Facebook more because Facebook can be very difficult to work with. Posts get flagged, things like
yes,
that.
and that's why I've got so damn many rules. I'm not trying to be a hard ass here at all, but the rules are there because either myself personally has gotten a trip to Facebook jail, or some of the posts that I've approved have drawn flags from Facebook and all that. So
Yeah,
when you post, I would ask everybody to please, for your own benefit, so you don't wind up in Facebook jail, just take a look, review the rules, make sure that for instance, no pictures of hemp. Now, I
yeah,
mean, I know that sounds like a silly little rule, but the Facebook artificial intelligence, they can look at pictures and figure out what it is, but they cannot tell. They're not good enough to tell right now if a picture of cannabis has 12% THC in it or if it has 0.03% THC, which is the federal limit.
yeah. And
So,
I had an issue with that earlier this week, actually, kind of promoting some of our hemp flower products, and within I want to say 15 seconds, the post was up and immediately flagged. And of course, you can dispute it
right,
and like they'll leave it up, but I got zero interaction on that post. So
right.
I'm sure it was still taken down from everybody else's timeline.
Well, as I understand it, it doesn't really matter if Facebook has flagged it. They're going to put it into the algorithm where you get the lowest number of
Yeah.
possible views at all. And the same thing's true for YouTube.
Oh
That's
yeah.
a Google property and all that stuff. But not today, I believe it was yesterday, I posted in the group a picture when I went to look at something on Google News. They had a big ass ad at the very top for a CBD store that was selling D8. Go
Huh.
take a look at it. I posted it, I think, yesterday, but I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. But that's just
Yeah.
one of those little informational flower, chat bubbles that.
Right.
Okay, cool. Now let's talk a little bit about COVID and how you've seen it impact the industry because you're talking directly to store owners.
Oh yeah. And
Um,
that's primarily where I work, directly with store owners. And there's a lot of people, I mean, with business slowing down, they're not bringing in product. If they can't sell what product they have, they're obviously not restocking or bringing in new product, and that's, I don't want to say a hurdle. I mean, we're working through it. Shops lately, a lot of shop owners seem to be more optimistic, it seems like. But that's the big thing has just been small businesses. I don't want to say getting crushed, but
Well, that's exactly what's happening. The business and and it's not just CBD, but CBD is taking a little bit more of a hit because it's a health product and more
mhm.
of a disposable income for the
Yeah,
person that's buying it. Now, I don't get me started on this but if the schools close down in your area, then it takes one person of either a single income household or even a double income household that has to stay home with the child,
yeah,
and that reduces their available income to spend on things like health related products and CBD. So it
yeah,
doesn't matter if it's on a website or if it's somebody that you need to walk through your door. Both sides are getting hit, but it seems like from talking to some of the CBD groups, those with websites and active websites and email campaigns and lions and tigers and bears, oh my, tend to fare a little bit better. Have you seen anything like that?
yeah. A lot of the e-commerce shops I work with, because a lot of people don't want to go out with COVID going on. So when they see, they get this brand of CBD from a shop in the town, oh, I can get it online, or oh, this shop carries it online. I can save myself a trip. Yeah,
And I guess yeah, it really is. It is that simple. People are not wanting to go out, and they're talking now about having this being the second wave coming or the second coming
hmm
of the wave or something like that.
yeah,
But it's a reality that the I believe it was the chairman of the Federal Reserve just put out a statement yesterday, and he said there is no going back to the way it was. That this is the new economy, this is the new reality, and this is what we've got to adapt to. And just like a lot of species know, due to evolution, if you don't adapt, you die.
yeah. And that's, I mean, it's really an interesting time to kind of see how everything's happening. I mean, this hasn't happened since early 1900s was the last
1918,
1918.
and
So,
everything was completely different back then, just like it is now.
yeah,
And it the I'm sure you guys have seen the some of the old farts like me have seen this no spitting on the sidewalk signs that were left over,
hmm
and laws and rules about spitting on the sidewalk. That actually came from the 1918 flu pandemic.
yep,
So they made societal changes just like we are having to do. It's just they made different ones, but the ones we're making are it's a COVID is a disruptor in the industry, in all
yes.
industries,
Oh, yeah.
and it seems to be that those who are able to adapt can make money in this situation.
See, and
Just
that's one thing. It's very bittersweet. I've seen, oh, I don't want to say lower quality brands. Some of these smaller brands, maybe smaller manufacturers, maybe the ones who don't care about their product. They're just in it for the money. This change is happening, and they're not making it through. So
that's
it's
right.
very bittersweet.
Yeah, that's right. And a lot of that has to do with taking care of your customer and
Absolutely.
and making them feel number one. But let me ask you a question. I think this was something that we came up with that was a discussion in our group earlier.
Mhm.
Um, do you have VIP customers that you give special treatment to in it because of the volume that they're doing? There was a big discussion in our group about whether to do that or whether to treat every customer as special, and I'm not really sure that's realistic.
See, and it's a fine line. Like, given this year, I mean, if a shop comes to me and they're like, hey, I need to bring some product in, I'm on a real tight budget. Of course, I'm going to do what I can to work with their budget, make sure they're well stocked up. I mean, we do have different pricing tiers for different scales of businesses, for obvious for other distribution centers. But I mean, that's the thing is we've been kind of trying to help everybody we can.
Right, right.
At least on the
But
wholesale level. I mean, I know retail wise, we have been running sales here and there, trying to help out on that level as well.
yeah, and I guess the idea of treating people differently. I mean, it goes way back. I don't think I mean, I hate to bring this touchy subject up, but I usually go where angels fear to tread. So here we go.
Right.
Um, there have been ever since time began, just in a societal way, there have been groups that have been oppressed or have been, worked for their labor.
Hmm.
And I mean, that's pretty much since time began. The earliest thing I can think of is in the Bible, the Egyptians and the Jews. But it's just, I'm sure it goes back further than that, and I'm
Oh,
sure
I'm
I'll
sure.
get some comments on this. But that's okay. We're trying to get people involved. We're trying to get comments from people, and we can only help the stores if they let us know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, and I mean, let's see, when it would have been March, April era when this was just starting to get real rough. Um, the shops who were pretending nothing was wrong, like I couldn't help them. They're telling me everything's fine,
Right.
but like I have a lot of shops, I've known since I've been here, and they're telling me like, look, I'm gonna be honest, things aren't great right now. And that's when I'm like, okay, what can I do?
Yeah, and I think that, and the reason I brought that up is because the idea of treating customers differently, yeah, I think is offending some people.
Mm,
And loyalty programs do this. That's where they put in, you get a higher tier discount, just like you're doing in manufacturing. The more dollar value you buy, the higher tier discount you can get, or maybe the more opportunities for emails because you're a good customer. You might want to get my emails. Whereas if you buy, one case a month from me, or it's different than buying one case a year. I'm not going to bug somebody with an email campaign as much,
mm.
if they're not as active, because they
Yeah.
probably don't want to hear from me.
Yeah,
But
and there's a lot of customers. That's where our representatives are great. We're very personable. Like there's times I call customers and I know we're all going through rough spots. We'll just talk. Like we don't need to talk business. Tell me how everything's been other than that. We I don't know. I like to build very personable relationships with everybody I work with. At least I know all of our reps are really big on that. Um, and even if they're not spending the most, I'd like to keep in contact with all of them.
sure, absolutely. Speaking of that, John, do you want to give out your business email here?
Yeah, yeah. My email. Do you just want me to say it out loud?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just going to be John, John at Pinnacle Distro, PINNACLEDISTRO.com.
cool. All right, so you're about to get a flood of emails and letters, from a group of about 1,000 people all over the
Right.
world.
That's okay. That's what I'm here for.
Well, good, John. I really appreciate you taking time to talk to me and talk to our group about this. And I hope that we have, if not touched off some hot button issues, at least provided some information that people can use in their stores.
Yeah, for
And
sure. And if anybody has any questions regarding Pinnacle Hemp or me, or maybe you want to work together, shoot me an email, send me a friend request. My cell is everywhere on my Facebook page. Feel free to give me a call.
Cool. Well, I'm sure that you will be getting some calls and letters.
Oh,
It's kind
I'm
of like
sure.
thoughts and prayers. You always get them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, everybody. Y'all have a good morning and go out there and be productive. Thanks, John. See you later.
Thanks, Rodney, for having me. Bye.
Bye bye.